Welcome to the Wrexham Coffee Matchup. I'm Dave.
And I'm Courtney. Each week, we'll take a few minutes to catch up on the latest news from Wrexham. From matchups to transfers, on and off the pitch, we'll share our takes on it all.
So grab a coffee and join us.
Hey Dave, welcome back.
Hey, how are you? It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too. A lot has gone on since the last time we talked, even though it was just a few days ago, or it feels like a lot has gone on.
Well, it's because we're right in the middle of that really pack of 5 matches over 14 days. We had the match against Derby County on Saturday morning, and I'd have to say that this week, match scheduling wise for a West Coast person is a little bit challenging because Saturday's match, because it had been moved to a lunchtime kickoff in England, it was at 4:30 in the morning. So had to set the alarms at 4 o'clock to get up. And the big crew of online Blue Sky supporters were up with me. So we were all kind of watching at the same time, but it's definitely an early start. And then Tuesday this week, we have the league match against Leicester City. And up till now, the Tuesday matches have been cup matches that aren't as important. But since this is a league match that affects the standings and it's during my busiest work day, I'll be able to catch a moment here and there. But then I'll really just have to come home and watch it when I get home at the end of the day so I can really dig deep into it. And then again, this year, the Birmingham match got moved to a weekday. So it'll be on Friday night, which is great for the fans in Wales that are going to be there, probably creating a great atmosphere. It'll probably be good for you as well, too, because at least you'll be able to watch. Your little one will be asleep, hopefully. But it
and
was
then
like right
me probably by halftime, but at least part of the game.
That's what the
At least part of the
replays are
match.
for. That's what the
Exactly.
replays are for. So, but I'm definitely looking forward to this week. I think by the end of Friday, we're going to really have a good sense of where we're starting to fall on the table and how additionally the team is pulling together.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I fully agree, but that's okay.
So why don't you agree? Yeah.
Just because it's only 2 more matches and yeah, where we're going to fall on the table.
Oh, I don't mean eventually by the end of the season. I just meant as we're going into
after these 2 matches.
Yes.
Well, that is categorically true.
Every week is true. Yes. So what did you think about the Derby County match this week?
I felt a lot of things about it. It was a lot of different things. It was exciting to watch. It felt like there were so many almost moments, but it felt like as soon as there was an almost moment, there was a whistle or there was a body on the ground or like something else that stopped it. It felt like it was like a lot of hurry up and go and stop.
Right. Especially in the first half. That first half was,
Yes.
I think the common phrase that I saw online was frustrating just because people are calling out the ref. It was an incredibly brutal match. And I think it got more and more violent as it went on, where it seems to be that the strategy of other teams this year is if we have a really good player who's starting to make an impression, just stomp on their ankle, twist their knee, or trip them and see if you can get them off the pitch. And it's not a great feeling. And it really makes me worry for some of these players who've been really making huge impacts. Are they going to be able to stay healthy through this long season if people keep attacking them like that?
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, I think we're really starting to see some really key players emerge. I mean, the kind of hero of the first several matches, Keiffer Moore, big name in the last, I would say 2 matches, certainly 2 matches ago, Josh Windass, and then Issa Kabore.
Right. All of them have been amazing, and they're really starting to click together, which is really nice to see. At one point, I think I mentioned to you that you pointed out that you noticed how tall he was for the first time, and that he comes in at an amazing 6'5", just like Ollie Palmer does. But that I noticed that as a 6'5" person, he is incredibly flexible and fast, and he can just roll on the ground. It was almost like an acrobat in a sense. It was kind of fun to watch, and he, with his little hair, was pushed out of his eyes,
Giving him a couple more inches. No, it's funny that I really had never noticed it, and maybe it's just that I don't know, I was too starstruck whenever I saw him shown, or that it was just him in the frame. Because as soon as I saw it with him walking in, then they showed him on the pitch before the match started next to a couple of other players, and it's just like he's towering over them. And I had never noticed it before. Another thing that was new for me in the match was following along in real time on Bluesky and interacting a bit with the Wrexham Thirst section crew. It has been, I feel like a dinosaur when I say this, but it has been a very long time since I've been on social media, especially a platform like Bluesky. I used to be very active on Twitter. And then there's actually like a creepy story. I don't need to go into that. I can if you want.
No, it's okay.
But I stopped really, being as active on such a platform. And so I fell off a little bit. I forgot to vote before the voting window closed, but it was a really nice sort of group of people to interact with.
What I like about this group is that they're very enthusiastic and they really love the game, right? I mean, it's kind of like watching, it's like almost like going to a bar and watching with friends, and everyone's just shouting at the screen. That's kind of how it feels. And so, like, my setup is I have my iPad, my phone, the game on the television, and there's a lot of interaction back and forth, and everyone's just putting in their comments and hoping that Mark Griffiths will call it out on air, because it's sort of like the peak moment is when you get your shout out on in the commentary. So I think the group enjoyed having you in as well too, and we've been doing the coffee matchup live commentary on Bluesky as well, so people can kind of hear our collective opinion as we go. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with two things in this match, in addition to Moore, Windass, and Kabore. Is one, I thought Arthur put in a really, really solid performance in goal. I mean, the one that got in, there was nothing anybody could have done about that. That was just a fast break that was wide open, and there was no way he could react. But he made some beautiful saves. He looked a lot more confident in goal, kind of like the Arthur of old of last season that we're used to seeing. And so it's really good to see him kind of stepping back up into that role, because I know there was uncertainty a few weeks ago as to would he be the number one or the number two? And he's really showing he's doing a solid job at number one. And then the other thing that we just have to shout out is Lewis O'Brien.
Yeah.
With that beautiful goal of his, but even more important than his goal was his little celebration dance at the end of the goal. It was quite the dance.
I didn't see it.
I could not even attempt to mimic it. He looked like a little cartoon character out there on the field.
Okay.
It was quite a joy to watch. So just go back to the replay and fast forward through it. So overall, after this week's, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, overall, it felt like it was a frustrating result. It felt like I think everyone probably went into that thinking we should have won. Sort of expecting that this would be the first home win. And so I think it's a draw that doesn't really feel like a draw that feels a little bit like a loss. But where does that leave us in the standings?
So we're at 15th still. So we didn't change in the standings this week. So it's solid just below the middle of the pack. But I think there's good hope that with the Birmingham match on Friday that we can finally get that first home victory of the season, because I think that would really inspire us to keep going.
Bold prediction
Early on. Yes. Just hopefully bold. So while over the past week, we did get an update on the COP construction, because if you've noticed, I don't know if you noticed while watching the match, doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on there. And they had originally said that the construction would be done by early summer of 2026. And the latest in the digital program that came out was that the now new target is sometime during the 26-27 season. So it looks like there's some delays, as is with all construction everywhere around the world. But it also probably means that the ticket situation is going to continue to be a little challenging at the beginning part of next season as well too. So hopefully they can make some good progress and get that COP stand built.
ticket situation, but also how does this impact the UEFA? Is it under 20, under 19?
Right. And they haven't really they haven't really said if that's going to make it so that they can't play that, or was that the field changes that they made with the new pitch that made them eligible? I'm not sure. Maybe we can look into that. So.
Okay. But I will say, it's very cute. I was laughing as you said, it seems like there's still not a lot happening. It was actually at the last match, during the last match, I was watching, my little one comes up and says, "Mama, what's that?" Pointing to the excavators and diggers and such. So, yeah.
So
it's obvious to everyone.
So he can watch along and let you know if anything's changed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Keen eye.
Yes. So just a brief update. When we last spoke, we were waiting to see who we would be drawing in the next round of the EFL Cup. So for the round of 16, there was something like a 70 some odd % chance that we would draw a Premier League team. And we drew Cardiff City, which is a League One team.
Nervous about that. But
this could be a good thing for us. It could be a good thing for us.
Yeah, could be. But I think it's going to be tough.
It is going to be tough, yeah.
I think just the fact that it is the other big Welsh team or another big Welsh team, and
they were in the championship last season, so they were relegated down to League One, and they're playing very well in League One right now. But this would be the first time in, I believe, 21 years that they'll have met. So it's going to be a big Welsh battle, and I think it's even going to be shown on ITV in England this time for this match.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of big news. I did get a chance, because our match on Saturday was at 4:30. I did get a chance to watch the Cardiff-Wigan match, which was on right afterwards. And that was so to see how Cardiff plays, but also to see how Paul Mullen, who's now at Wigan, would do up against the other Welsh team. It was a really interesting match to watch. And I watched the whole thing, and it struck me the difference between League One play and championship play. Like, there were very few injuries, not a lot of fouls, a lot more controlled passing, and really getting the control of the ball and really kind of setting up those set pieces. So it seemed like a lot more thought out of a game, instead of a lot of the hecticness that we're getting at the beginning of these championship matches. So it'll be interesting to see how we adapt and how we play against a team like that when we meet them in a couple weeks.
Well, I wonder if, and if I'm bringing this up too much, tell me, and I won't talk about it every single episode. But I wonder if speed is a part of that, right? You have time to set up those shots because it's the pace is a little bit slower, whereas you have to be faster. You've got to not necessarily rush, but you don't have the time to, perfectly set up and, sort of map everything out here in the championship.
I would agree with you on that. And so that's why it'll be a good test for us to see how we sort of adapt back to that. I mean, we did a good job against Reading. I thought we played really solid, and it was a good victory against them. So let's just put our fingers together and hope that we get a really great match with Cardiff, and we'll be at home for that one. So that will have the energy and enthusiasm of our fans as well, too.
It'll be interesting to see who starts. That's sometime in October, is that right?
Yeah, I think it's October 28th. They just announced it today. So nice. We've got a ways to go. So
little bit of time.
Yes.
Okay, so a little bit of time before that happens. Up next, this match is on tomorrow. This match is on Tuesday, the 30th of September, which might even be today as you're listening. Okay, so what's up next? On Tuesday, the 30th of September, we play against Leicester City, which I sort of think of as the other Cinderella team. So this story happened, I think it was 10 years ago. And essentially they had just had a streak of bad luck, hadn't been doing such a great job, got back into the Premier League. And they had, at the start of that season, 5,000 to 1 odds that they would win. And spoiler, since I already said it was a Cinderella story, they ended up winning the Premier League that year. And just the Reader's Digest version. If anybody wants to find out details, if you just Google it, you'll see a lot of really nice stories that have been written. But I think some interesting odds from bookmakers at the time. So remember, this is 10 years ago. So Leicester City winning the Premier League, 5,000 to 1. So all of these other things were considered more likely to happen. Elvis being alive, 2,000 to 1. Hugh Hefner admitting that he's a virgin, 1,000 to 1. Simon Cowell becoming prime minister, 500 to 1. And Loch Ness Monster being found, 500 to 1.
Those are some wild odds.
They really are. So maybe from the Leicester City side, do you have any other info to share?
Yeah, so currently they're sitting 5th in the Championship League. So they were relegated from the Premier League at the end of last season, and that was actually the second time in 3 seasons that they have been relegated from the Premier League. But they've really kind of pulling together. Apparently they're having a really good start to the season. They're looking very strong. This will be the first time that we've played against them since 1981. So it's 44 years since we've last played them, which is just an amazing amount of time. Leicester's about 2 hours away from Wrexham, and this will be our first time at their new stadium, which is the King Power Stadium, which is one of the biggest stadiums in the Championship League. So it'll be interesting to see sort of the energy there. There's a collection of stadiums that are in that 32 to 33,000 attendance range. So they will definitely be bringing a lot of energy to their team. There's one other interesting fact that I was looking up is that 5 of our Wrexham players have previously played for Leicester City. And so including Connor Cody and Danny Ward, who left them in June of last season. So with Danny Ward being out with injury, he won't be able to make it. But if Connor Cody makes it onto the squad this week, this would be his first time playing back against his old home team.
All right.
But other players that have previously played are Matty James, Lewis Brunt, and Callum Doyle. They all played for Leicester City in the past too. So.
Okay. Interesting things to look forward to. Other interesting match to look forward to, we talked about it a little bit, is Friday's match against Birmingham City, which will be a home match. So against Birmingham again at home.
Right. And so they're currently sitting in 11th place. They're just 2 points ahead of us on the table. But unlike last season, when they really just blew through League One, they just dominated almost the whole season long. They are struggling a little bit this year, trying to get their footing again. They've had some changes in management. People are not as happy with the coach or the manager of the team as they were last year. And I guess the town is sort of complaining that they spent a lot of money to get out of League One, but the players that they bought are not really gelling together in the championship. So it's kind of that challenge again of how long does it take for a team to find its footing. And like you said, again, it's very, very early in the season. We still have 39 more matches to go. So I'll be curious to see how this one matches up against the 2 matches that we played against them last season. They did go the documentary route, where they put out an Amazon documentary called Built in Birmingham that was like focusing on Tom Brady and his minority ownership in the team. I tried to watch it. I went in with that spirit of, is this like another Welcome to Wrexham? And it wasn't. So I'll just leave it there.
Well, you said something about, the team invested a lot of money. They've got these players that don't seem to be gelling well. I forgot to make a very important point at the start of our recap for Derby County. I forgot to give you like my most important feedback. Parky out.
Oh.
Parky out. No, I'm totally joking. I'm totally joking. But all of that sounds very familiar, right?
Yes.
That, you're not in first place. You're not in the first 3 positions. It must be that you get rid, of the coach immediately.
Yeah, it's a weird world to live in. I could not imagine if our work environments operated like that, where, 5 or 6 weeks of kind of mild performance leads to you getting a whole new boss. That would be strange.
Or one really bad week and everyone says like, oh, your boss has got to go or you have got to go. I mean, Yeah, that
But
would
it
be
makes
really
it exciting
stressful.
as we watch. It makes it exciting.
Yeah, it
So
makes it exciting, like not being in that position.
So after the Birmingham match on the 3rd of October, then we go off to our next international break. They seem to be coming quite rapidly in succession because it seems like we just had our last one. So
Yeah.
we're going to have 15 days off without a match, and our next match back will be on October 18th. So there's a little bit of a gap there. And then the other upcoming date that's very important both for you and I is that on November 1st they'll be announcing all the television selections through March 1st. So
Yeah.
all the matches from January, February, and up to March 1, we'll find out if they're shifting their times or days, because they
Mhm.
often shift one or two of the Saturday matches to Fridays. And if they shift the match on the weekend that we're going, that would affect your travel schedule. So we are waiting to finalize your travel schedule and our
Yeah.
hotel reservations until we know exactly which day. And then we'll play the whole ballot lottery ticket game
Yeah.
afterwards.
That's another story for another day.
Another day. Yes, another day.
Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for joining us this week. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
You can also email us at wxmcoffeematchup@gmail.com. All one word, that's wxmcoffeematchup@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on Instagram and Bluesky at wxmcoffeematchup.
From the cop to your coffee cup, that's all for today's Wrexham Coffee Matchup. Keep it brewing, keep it red, and as always, up the town.